Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another evening of racing here with MC Motorsport. We're back again. It's Thursday night, so that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Toyota 86 Cup. My name is Jared Cole. I'm your commentator for this evening's action, and we are coming to you here live on Simple Racing Broadcasts. We would ordinarily have our friend Dean Hopton in the booth with us tonight, but unfortunately he is unavailable, so you're stuck with me for the evening, but I can think of worse places to be. We're here at the amazing Sandown International Motor Raceway for the fourth round of this 6-round series. It's been ultra competitive so far, and of course everybody behind the wheel of the Toyota 86, which makes for some very, very close, tight racing as the cars are low on power, so it's all down to the driver's skill and their ability to maintain momentum through every corner. And speed is the name of the game here at Sandown. If you lose speed through these corners, you have no hope down the incredibly long straights that these drivers will be facing tonight. The track, of course, in Springvale, Australia. It's a 3-kilometre lap, 13 turns for the drivers, and the conditions tonight look really looking perfect. And you'd expect as much from any Australian track, wouldn't you? 20 degrees air temp, 24 degrees on track, so not too hot. The tyres will handle this temperature reasonably well, I'm sure. Track currently dry and we're not expecting any weather, although there are a few clouds hanging around. As always, thanks of course to MC Motorsport, our race organisers, for putting together the championship and putting on the event this evening. We are set for yet another very impressive night of racing, as I said. Before we do get into it though, the drivers completing their qualifying in the background, so we're just waiting on some results coming through there. It's good to have you back if you are back tonight for another round of this. And if this is your first time with us, welcome. It's good to have you along. Let me tell you just a little bit about the Toyota 86 Cup and the format. So we do have open qualifying going on. Drivers can complete as many laps as they like. Obviously just a 10-minute timer on that. You're racing 20-minute sprint to open, a quick break in between, and then a 30-minute complete reverse grid race. So it does make for some very, very exciting second round racing, second race event for the evening, as you find the fastest drivers from race 1 having to battle through the entire pack if they want a shot at the points again in the second race. They do have a fast repair up their sleeve, so one accident is not the end of their night, and everyone on a fixed setup, which is part of the joy of these series. It really is all about the driver skill, and we have some fantastic driver skill mixed in amongst the pack this evening. Let's take a look now at the championship results as they stand before tonight's event. Alex Court hanging on to the slimmest of margins, 387 points out in front of Mitch Curry. Ollie Robson not too far behind either in third, 367 points there. Craig Edwards a little further back on 329, and Ryan Palmer, who's fresh off the back, a phenomenal result in the Super Formula Lights Championship on Monday night for ADHD Racing, sitting in fifth here, so actually in with a shot for the championship. Jamie Nankovitz not to be written off either though, 311 points there. 306 points for Scott Lefevre in 7th. Brian East makes the top 10, 302 points so far. James Bunker and Josh Harris, the other ADHD Racing entries, in 9th and 10th. Almost tied for points after 3 rounds. This is, as I said, round 4 of a 6-round series, so it's getting to crunch time at this point for the drivers. If they haven't been along to every event, they're going to have to make every single race count if they want to have a shot of finishing in the points and up the top of the championship leaderboard. A lot of work to be done. We have some incredible new talent that's joined this series just in the last couple of weeks, and certainly one to watch for this evening is Ben Faulkner, who's back again this week. He absolutely dominated last week's round, and I did a little bit of research. As you do. You know, you have a new driver come along, and you want to check out who they are. When you talk about true professionals when it comes to iRacing, Ben Faulkner absolutely fits the alien category. I just want to call out for all the viewers here, if you're not aware, I believe, rumour has it, as they say, that Ben Faulkner has an iRating somewhere in the 6,000s, which is pretty insane for a starting point. But we went and had a look at some of his record laps that have been recorded on Garage 61, if you're familiar with it. Mr. Faulkner holds something like 12 or 13 lap records in a Toyota 86 on iRacing. we have amongst us, folks, a genuine alien. And so I'm going to be really interested to see tonight if Ben backs it up this week and walks all over the rest of the field. So look, the only downside for him is he's probably not going to get a lot of airtime with us, because we'll be watching the pack racing that happens further back amongst the mere mortals in the field. And that always makes for some outstanding viewing. Do give us a shout in the chat. Keep me company. I always hate doing these on my own and not being sure, just who's around. So by all means, shout out. Let me know who you're backing this evening, and see if there's anyone I need to keep an eye on for you, so you get a bit of a better view of their race. But with only, just under a minute left in qualifying, we'll be very soon ready to jump to our grid and get our drivers ready for the first race of the evening. The real question, of course, Sandown is a fast track with some sketchy corners to get through. I'm wondering if we're actually going to see clean racing tonight, or if we'll actually spend a bit of time under the safety car. Obviously, we're not going to know that until we get into it, so we will cross our fingers, hope that I haven't put any commentators' curses on anybody for this evening, and we will look shortly to the grid as the drivers get ready to take on what is one of the finest racing tracks, in my opinion, in the country. I recently did a Sandown 500 broadcast, and that was really my first experience with Sandown in the iRacing world, and I gotta tell you, I actually think I like this more than Bathurst. And I've been pulled up on that before. I know that sends a few people over the edge, but hey, it's what I believe. I actually think this track is a better track to watch because there are more passing opportunities. Let's take a look at the grid. I've done enough chatting about that for the moment. Let's see what we're looking at after qualifying. Unsurprising to see Ben Faulkner in P1 alongside Alex Corp P2, Shane Ratcliffe and Dylan DeBono in the second row, Doug Gowans, the Velocity SimLab entry, and Mitch Curry in 5th and 6th. As we look a little further back through the field, Sam Chapman, James Bunker from ADHD, Jamie Nankervis and Josh Harris round out the top 10 with Brian East and Shannon Wright just behind. Sam Katakazinas in P13, Velocity SimLab entry, Scott Lefebvre alongside him. Ryan Palmer from ADHD, not doing as well here tonight in qualifying as he would have hoped, I'm sure, considering his results in the Super Formula Lights, but he's alongside Jared Williams. Then Ronald Long and Terry Marwood, Nathan Bowman and Lam Newen, then Luke Newing and Luke Speck rounding out the 22 entries that we do have on track tonight, as we wait for the starters' orders to roll around. We've got probably just under a minute until these guys are ready to go, so let's keep an eye on the action as everybody does start to grid up and see what we're going to have for our first race of the evening here in round 4 of the Toyota 86 Cup, brought to you by MC Motorsport and Simple Racing Broadcasts. Broadcasts made simple. If you'd like to have your league broadcast, or if you've got a special event coming up, then by all means do get in touch. Just search Simple Racing Broadcasts on YouTube, or email simpleраcingbroadcasts@gmail.com. As we see the drivers getting themselves lined up, we've got only a little while to go here as the grid begins to form. We will be, I am sure, under starters' orders in just a moment. The lights are red. And we're green, green, green. Always a great start from Toyota 86s. There's a huge start there from, that must be one of the Velocity SimLab entries. Has gotten off the line like you wouldn't believe. And we are away with race 1 for the evening. Fantastic start all around. A big crash there immediately. Is that Mitch Curry that's been turned around? It is, as panic and havoc ensues. One of the ADHD entries has been spun around as well. That looks like it might have been... Tell me it wasn't. It's Josh Harris. He's gone around. So, underway. But geez, not the start that a lot of those drivers were hoping for. Turn 1 carnage. Let's go back and take another look at what that brought us. So you see Mitch Curry spun around and Josh Harris just nowhere to go. Oh, a huge hit there on the Everything Simulated entry, as well as Harris desperately tried to get out of the way. So 1, 2, 3, probably 4 cars there with some pretty heavy damage. You can see Josh Harris is just having to limp that back to the pit with a completely busted front right. Certainly not what he would have been hoping for. Look at the car sitting up. Oh, that's a long drive to get back to pit road for Mr. Harris. And I dare say he won't be too impressed with that. But the race continues nonetheless. And we see Ben Faulkner already out in front with a significant lead over Alex Court, and then an even bigger gap back to Doug Gowans as the rest of the field tries to recover from that start, and hopefully... Oh, big hit on the wall. Ben Faulkner really pushing the limits of Sandown's track here. He knows how to handle an 86, he knows how to extract the very best from it, but of course that means running on the ragged edge. G'day Cam, good to see you here, and yeah, good luck to the Velocity Sim Lab boys. They always put on a good show for us. And we're hoping to see a few of them up among the points tonight as we carry on down the field. Ben Faulkner flashing the lights. I swear he's just doing that because he knows he's on camera. And here they come, 2-3 wide, big bounces over the curbs. Oh, that's a big loose moment from Doug Gowans, but that allows Shane Ratcliffe to come on through. And here comes the rest of the pack just behind. So this is the pack chasing Shane Ratcliffe for P3. We've got Doug Gowans and Dylan DeBono just behind him. So the Velocity SimLab entries stacking up alongside each other. And then a little gap opening up here. Sam Chapman falling away. Ryan Palmer managing to hang on to P7 for the moment. So here they go. A couple of Velocity SimLab entries there. Dylan DeBono stuck in the middle. They're a good looking livery though that these guys run. So good to see them back out on track once again this week. Some pretty close racing going on further back. We see here Luke Speck and Luke Newing going at it, and Newing's had a moment. He was just a couple of tenths behind there, and he's got to really work at catching up here. What is this Big Dane livery? That is something, Mr. Speck. Luke Speck sporting a very bright and very easy to identify livery. Terry Marwood as well, a new entry further back in a fairly striking, a ninja livery, or it is ninja livery. There you go. I do like checking out what everyone's bringing. And speaking of, Ryan Palmer and James Bunker, as always, we rely on the ADHD boys to bring us something special in terms of their liveries. I can only assume, my God, left, right on the mirrors, back on the spoiler. I'm sure there's a front on the front lip somewhere. I can only assume that one of them has just discovered Microsoft Paint and has been having a crack. What's happened to Sam Katakazinas? Look, he's found himself a long way back. Give me a moment and let's just let's take a look and see if we can see what's happened. Unfortunately, he's just gotten up on two wheels and has recovered straight into the fence. That wouldn't have been what he was hoping for at all. So that's cost him a lot of places. The car thankfully doesn't look too badly damaged, so he might just get away with that. We'll have to wait and see if he can recover some places though, and he's right up alongside Mitch Curry as he crawls into the pits there and hopes to get a few repairs done. But here we are back with it. Shane Ratcliffe still leading out this pack for third. Doug Gowans and Dylan DeBono though right behind him within 5/10 for both of them as they get the smallest of aero assistance down the back. Dylan DeBono really wanting to push Doug Gowans along here. There's not a lot of passing opportunities here for a Toyota 86. And you really do have to try and hold all of your momentum to keep your pace up and be able to make a move if the driver in front does make the tiniest of errors. But no such errors here from Shane Ratcliffe as he continues to just toy with the drivers behind him, holding them off quite comfortably. We see Dylan DeBono ducking into the pits. Bit unusual. He may have picked up some damage there that he just needs to get checked out. We've still got a long way to go, just over 14 minutes in this race, so plenty of time for him to bring that back. He'll be hoping for a safety car, I'm sure. Jared Williams has had an issue as well. Let's take a look. And yeah, that inside curb onto the back straight of Sandown does catch a lot of drivers out, and it's a horrible spot to get stuck. You can see he's got nowhere to move safely, and so hands over 3, 4, 5 positions just by having to wait for traffic to come through. And another Another one coming through. That's cost him in a big way. So Jared Williams, a bit of work to do now to catch up, because that one has sent him all the way down to P19 as we stick with this. So Ratcliffe and Gowans quite happy to just poke alongside each other there. But we do see in the background Sam Chapman looking to close the gap. But it's a long gap to try and close in a Toyota 86. They're not the fastest of things. And of course, momentum being everything, you really have to hope that the guys in front do just lose a few tenths coming out of those corners. We look at the field spaced out in front of them. Let's take a look up front. This is Ben Faulkner, currently 3.5 seconds ahead of P2 Alex Court. So 7 minutes in and Faulkner already displaying his absolute dominance. Ben Smith, this is the Ben Faulkner. I mean, if I say the Ben Faulkner, I'm pretty sure that answers your question. And based on the lead that he's building here, it should be no surprise that it's the Ben Faulkner. Let's go back and take a look. You are absolutely spot on, Cam. Dylan has got the drive-through for lap 1. So let's go back, Dylan, to Bono and take a look at that one. Let's see if we can pick up what's happened here. And okay, so he's made contact there with Mitch Curry. That's an interesting call. That's an interesting call. Let's see if we can catch just a little more of that, perhaps, because that's a yeah, that's a really interesting call. Let's just take another look here. Mitch Curry turns in. Oh yeah, look, tough call, and best of luck to the stewards figuring that one out. So we are back here with Dylan DeBono, who now finds himself in P11 after serving that drive-through. So not too badly affected in this field, finds himself about halfway down with a bit of work to do to catch up. The better one drives at Race on Oz. I didn't realise there was a better Ben Faulkner. There you go. I'm pretty impressed with this one, honestly. We were talking a little earlier in the broadcast about just the number of lap records that he does hold in a Toyota 86, and this being only his second week, he's going after the championship here, trying to do it with only 4 rounds. So that's a pretty bold approach. We can only hope that's going to work out. Luke Speck having an issue in the background as well. The big day in entry, has he just gotten a bit loose here, up on 2 wheels, and again it's the same thing we saw from Sam Kataxinas earlier, almost identical, just getting up on 2 wheels over the curb, and it's just driven him nose first into the fence. That is almost a carbon copy of Sam's incident just a little earlier. So we see Mitch Curry getting very loose in the background there. That's going to cost him a spot and then some. But lucky to keep it on the track and keep it straight. So we see Luke Newing looking to just put a bit of pace on, but Curry's straight back onto him, so he's recovered well. Hasn't lost too much position, and he'll have a great opportunity here to pass into turn 1 with a little aero assistance from Newing's Toyota 86. They're alongside as we come to turn 1. Let's see if we're going to get plenty of space, or if they're going to be rubbing doors. Curry moves out to give himself as much possible room for his run through the corner. Newing just happy to sit in and tuck onto the back of Curry. I reckon he'll be looking to make a pass down the back straight, up over the curbs, bouncing these cars around. The suspension is soft, so it does let him get away with it a little bit, but we've already seen 2 drivers struggling to maintain control of the car after hitting those curbs into the final chicane. So there are definitely corners you can get away with it and those that you can't, and I think we found the one you can't tonight. Ben Faulkner, meanwhile, out in front. We are just over halfway through this race, and he's built himself a 5.5 second lead over Alex Court in second, who in turn has built himself a 4 second lead over Shane Radcliffe. So really, really spread out those top 3. But Doug Gowan's still sticking with Shane Radcliffe. He'll be looking for an opportunity to pass and hopefully land himself on the podium this evening. So we see them coming down into turn 1. Ratcliffe, really tidy line in through turn 1, and Doug Gowan's not able to make anything of it that time. I do wonder if Doug Gowans might be playing a bit of strategy here, just happy to tack onto the back until he gets an opportunity closer to the finish. Because of course with these cars, the aero is just about the only assistance you can count on. So we look back from Ratcliffe's car towards Doug Gowan's. Not quite close enough to take full advantage, but he is closing that gap down ever so slightly as they come down the very long back straight. And this straight feels even longer in a Toyota 86 compared to something like your V8 supercars. They just don't have the top speed to get down there quickly, but you gotta love them. A+ for effort, and the tenacity of these 86 drivers to keep throwing these cars through the corners, always a delight to watch. As we take a look a little further back in the pack, this is Brian East, who's attracted a bit of a following. Dylan De Bono right on his tail, and he's looking for an opportunity, almost bins it, has another look up the inside. Right behind him though, Nathan Bowman in the Jim Stroll Toyota 86. So does Bowman make the best of this and perhaps put a pass on? De Bono's moving around a lot behind Brian East, obviously thinks he's got the pace and wants to get through. I do wonder if he's keeping an eye on Bowman, who's well positioned here, so we're going to see them go 3 wide. Don't forget about Ronald Long just behind as well. Great opportunity as we make our way down the main straight. Alright, here goes De Bono. Does he have the pace? Brian East still well out in front. That's going to give Nathan Bowman an opportunity to just move up alongside. Oh, very close, a little bit of a door up there perhaps, and that positions Nathan Bowman beautifully for the inside line into turn 2. He backs it out though. Here we go again, down the back straight. Oh, De Bono very, very wide there. He's just drifting the car around, using up all of the track. I'm not sure if that was intentional though, because it's not seemed to get him much of anything. So the 4 here battling for P8. De Bono right on the tail of Brian East. Look at this, he's touching as they come down to this corner. He wants through. Brian East making that car as wide as he possibly can. De Bono looking to go wide and set up a better line. Does he have the drive out of the corner? Just can't make it work. Takes a little peek up the inside as we head to the final chicane before we hit the main straight again. He's got to be careful on that curb. We've seen, as we said before, oh, big bounce over that curb. That's going to cost him some speed if he can't get back in behind East. Nathan Bowman missing the opportunity to shut De Bono out of the slipstream. Meanwhile, Ronald Long just quite comfortable sitting back and watching it all happen. I reckon he's probably hoping for these guys to take each other out, and we might just catch that. De Bono looks to the outside, Bowman looks the inside. Brian East just conducting this little train as best he possibly can. So here they come again. As we take a look from the gearbox of Brian East, how's that for a view? This is Dylan De Bono right up. That is so close behind. He is pressuring Brian East, looking for him to make the mistake. And there he is, just hanging on the back of Brian East, looking for the way through. Can he make it stick? He's gone to the right. He's going to have to come back into the left again. Oh, Nathan Bowman has to jump on the brakes to not run up the back end. These guys racing absolutely nose to tail, and here we go. De Bono just cannot find a way through. He's throwing it and just letting the car drift out as much as he can. But has he got the run here? He's gone all the way to the inside of the track. Interesting move, just trying to throw Bowman off, and it seems to have worked. Bowman's lost a lot of position there, but he's late on the brakes. And they compress back up again through turn 1. Bowman almost gets the better run on De Bono there. 4 minutes and change to go in this first race of the evening. And so far, Ben Faulkner unassailable in P1. Alex Court very, very comfortable. And Shane Ratcliffe, Doug Gowan still battling it out up ahead. Doug Gowans has not moved off that rear bumper of Shane Ratcliffe. So we will check in on that in a moment. But here's where all the action is. Just up ahead, James Bunker and Ryan Palmer Just the teammates driving along with each other there and keeping it safe. But De Bono, again, you couldn't fit a credit card between them there. He is putting all of the pressure onto Brian East here, looking for a way through. But if East keeps up this sort of consistent driving, the only way that De Bono is going to have a shot at this is out of the final corner if he can get the good run. And it might be worth him waiting until we hit the last lap at this point. It is a tricky, tricky track. As De Bono dives the inside now, he's got a good line here. He's up alongside again. Here we go. De Bono finally gets the lift he was looking for. He's up alongside. He's got the lead over Brian East. They swap back and forth a few times as we come across the line. East, though, is he later on the brakes, and can he hold it around the outside? Oh my goodness, they're giving each other plenty of room there, but Brian East continues to hold on to P8, doing a fantastic job. Nathan Bowman, meanwhile, has capitalised on De Bono being off the line, and he moves through. So for all of the work, De Bono has cost himself a position. He'll be looking to get that back, and quickly. Only 2.5 minutes left in this first race of the evening. As they open up, and De Bono just cannot tack onto the back of Bowman here. Let's go back and take a look at that pass from Nathan Bowman. That's not Nathan Bowman at all. Sorry, ladies and gents. Let's try that again. There's Nathan Bowman. De Bono just finds himself trying... Oh, a little bit of a touch there from Bowman. Okay. I don't think that's upset De Bono, though. I don't think that's what's got him through. De Bono definitely took a lot of speed out of his run there when he turned in hard to try and set up outside of East. So that's all it takes. And that puts Bowman up into P9. As we see the big Dane car sitting forlornly while Brian East makes his way past now. Nathan Bowman now. Here comes De Bono again. He wants that position back. He's looking for a way through. Very late on the brakes, but has to slot in behind. 1.5 minutes to go. We'll be coming very quickly to the final lap. As we see, oh, look at this. De Bono looking to push through. So Bowman manages to hold him off. Let's check in with Ben Faulkner, see how he's going up front. Making it look relatively easy, and there's the white flag, so this will be the last lap of race 1. And off in the distance, Alex Court, Shane Ratcliffe even further back. Those two cars behind Ben Faulkner are lapped traffic. So there's a battle here continuing. This is, though, for P3, Shane Ratcliffe still out in front of Doug Gowns and Sam Chapman just behind. It's a bit of a gap to try and make up, so let's keep our eyes on this one, because Bowman and De Bono just absolutely going at it. Bowman gets spun. De Bono's tapped him. Bowman was already offline there, though. As we look at Ryan Palmer and James Bunker going side by side for P6 here as well. So these teammates racing for P6, P7. Ryan Palmer behind. Hard to tell them apart, I know. They're both wearing that just awful livery. And race control investigating Nathan Bowman's spin there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. These guys right up alongside each other, tucking in as we go down the back straight. But out in front, here is Ben Faulkner with an outstanding drive once again, as he comes through and takes the checkered flag. Race 1 to Ben Faulkner. Then daylight. And here comes Alex Court for P2. So a great race from those two. Shane Ratcliffe managing to hold off both Doug Gowans and Sam Chapman just behind. But here we go. James Bunker and Ryan Palmer, the teammates. Who's going to take this at the line? That is Ryan Palmer behind James Bunker. Can he get the run out of the corner? I don't think so, but it's going to be close. He's trying everything, but in the end, James Bunker takes P6 ahead of Ryan Palmer. And then Brian East, plenty of space back to Ronald Long there. So, race 1, as we wrap it up. give this just a moment as the drivers make their way around. And we'll bring Ben Faulkner into the commentary box. Ben, you're up front again, and mate, I tell you what, I did suggest to the stewards that we might need to add some weight to your car, but it probably would have been a decent idea, I reckon.
Hey guys, I'm just chilling in the waiting room.
Yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it a lot. The track is one of my favourites in this car. It's
race
really
control will be speeding that later.
It's tough to get it right with all the curbs. You have to use quite a lot of them. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the second race. Starting from the back, it'll be pretty entertaining. See if I can get through. And yeah.
Now, last week you did have a bit of an assist in making your way from further back in the field. You had an early safety car. We've managed to make it through race 1 tonight without any safety car action, which I'm stoked with. So what do you reckon? You're going to have to fight your way the whole way this time around, or are you plotting on a safety car again to maybe give you a hand this time in getting back up front?
I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get up there as long as P1 or P2 or one of the fast boys that don't pull away too quickly at the start. I should be able to get up there, but yeah, it'll all counts down to what other people do. I might get unlucky with someone spinning in front of me or something like that, so just have to wait and see and try and make the most of it.
Can only hope. Well, look, another fantastic drive tonight, Ben, and well done again. We'll let you go and get ready for race 2, and here's hoping we see you make your way through the field and get back on the podium again this evening. Thanks again for dropping in.
Thanks. Hope to see you later.
Ben Faulkner there, our race winner for race 1 tonight. And if we take a look now at the standings at the end of race 1, here's how they finished up. Ben Faulkner ahead of Court, then Ratcliffe, Gowans, Chapman, Bunker and Palmer very close together, but obviously not enough from Palmer to get past at the end there. Brian East, Ron Long and Mitch Curry rounding out the top 10. Quite a lot of gap between those top 10, 43 seconds in all from first through to 10th, so well spaced out tonight around Sandown. Then Luke Newing, Scott Lefebvre, Nathan Bowman, Liam Ewan, Terry Marwood, Jared Williams and Shannon Wright all managing to finish on the lead lap. Dylan DeBono further back in P18, so I do wonder what's happened there, because yeah, he was certainly fighting it out there for quite some time. Sam Katakazinas finishing 1 lap down after that unfortunate early incident. Josh Harris also, not surprised to see him struggle after the big turn 1 incident there. And then Jamie Nankovich not able to make much of it this evening in race 1, but hey, there's always race 2 and he'll be starting up front as a result, with Luke Speck finishing 8 laps down as well. So a little way to go yet before we are ready to jump into race number 2 for this evening. We will, of course, just take a quick break here. I'll leave you with some of the stunning vision of Sandown, and we will be right back for race 2 tonight here on MC Motorsport. Alright, welcome back ladies and gents. I hope you've taken the opportunity to grab yourself a refill of the drink and head on back as we get ready to jump on into our feature race this evening. Again, a half-hour full reverse grid, so our winners from race 1 will find themselves fighting their way back from all the way at the back of this 22-car field this evening. It's a long way to go to try and make that up here at Sandown especially. So very interested to see just how they managed to achieve that this evening as we wait for the drivers to be called to the grid here for race number 2, just a few moments away. And here we are. This is the grid for race number 2. Luke Speck and Jamie Nankervis taking out the front row on this full reverse grid. Josh Harris and Sam Katakazinas, then Dylan DeBono and Shannon Wright. Williams and Marwood, followed by Lamb, Newen and Nathan Bowman rounding out the top 10 with Lefebvre and Ewing just behind. Mitch Curry, Ronald Long, Brian East and Ryan Palmer, then Bunker and Chapman, followed by Gowans and Ratcliffe rounding out the top 20 with Alex Court and Ben Faulkner. All the work to do from the very back of this field. We are just about ready to go here. The starter is getting these cars gridded as we move to take a look at the field as they line up here. So here we go. We're under starters orders. And we're away once again. Oh, a bit of a... Oh, not a great start there. Not a great start. That's Shannon Wright, who's just struggled to get it off the line, but hasn't cost him anything, so he's gotten lucky there. So here's where all the action is up front. As we see our slower drivers from race 1, you can see already Ben Faulkner making his way up through the field. Started in P22, now finds himself in P18, so not wasting any time while everyone tries to find their rhythm. Or Lamb Newen getting those inside wheels up around that corner, lucky to hold it. Sam Katakazinas will be looking to make up for his disappointing first race. And here we go, down the back straight for the first time. A lot of movement behind. You can see Ben Faulkner trailing that green car of Lamb Newen's. So he's already made up 5-6 positions before we even get down the back straight here. But we'll keep our eyes up front as Josh Harris, in that just hideous ADHD entry, does his very, very best to hang on to P3 and hold off Dylan DeBono, who's looking to make the move on the inside his turn. He's got line. He might even pick up 2 spots here. He has. So up into P2, Dylan DeBono. Josh Harris now looking for a way past Nankervis. As we come around for the end of lap 1, this 30-minute race now well underway, as everyone tries to sort themselves out in the background. So keep your eyes on that top 10 ladder as we look for Ben Faulkner, already up into 12th. Just insanely fast. A big wide run there from Nankervis, so that's going to allow Josh Harris to make his way through and get back up into P3. Now Nankervis is going to have to hold off Speck, Wright, Bowman and Palmer all close behind. As we run down the back straight once again, here we go. Ben Faulkner manages to tack onto the back of this train as well. You can see Faulkner already looking to make the move up. He's up alongside and has passed now Terry Marwood. He's up into the top 10. So there he is. He's on the bottom of that top 10 timing ladder. These guys will be watching their mirrors closely. Mitch Curry, he's coming for you now, mate. So here we go. Nankervis still managing to hang in there. Oh no, that's happened again. Luke Speck, he's done it again. Not quite as damaging this time around. But again, he's just up on 2 wheels there. And you can see, just behind him, Bowman's done almost the same thing. But Speck goes into the wall again. Thankfully, not too much damage. So we take a look up the field. Look at this, Ben Faulkner now. We're looking at Ryan Palmer, that ADHD entry, with Mitch Curry just behind. But Ben Faulkner, a little damage on the front end, and that's not slowing him down in the slightest. So Nankervis now tacked on the back of Josh Harris just up ahead. So ADHD, everything simulated, ADHD, as Mitch Curry has Ben Faulkner all over him here. Curry just going very defensive to force Faulkner to really make this one work. He's going to hold him there the whole way down the straight as he moves out at the last moment, but Faulkner's got the inside line. Can he hold the pace? Curry up and over the curbs, really abusing those track limits to try and keep with him. A little bit of a wiggle there, but Faulkner just too good and moves on through. So P7, and we are not even through lap number 3. So that is a drive-through penalty has just been issued for that early contact for Ryan Palmer. So he'll have to serve a drive-through penalty for that one, unfortunately. Mitch Curry continues down the main straight. All he can do is look ahead as Ben Faulkner continues his run up the field. Going up alongside now Ryan Palmer. He's just managing to hold him out. Oh, big bounce there. Lucky not to do more damage, but that's costing a lot of speed. Mitch Curry in the background has had a spin as well. What's happening? A bit of contact there. Yeah, big bit of contact there. And Curry's tried everything he can to hold it, but you can see the car just all sorts of out of shape. And into the wall he goes. So that's cost Mitch Curry a lot of spots, finding himself down in P21 now. So we look ahead, Shannon Wright. Oh, big spin behind Ryan Palmer. Faulkner around the outside sets himself up for the inside run here. But Shannon Wright not giving it up so easily. Stays alongside. A bit of door rubbing there. He doesn't want to let him through. So Faulkner and Wright will come into this. Shannon Wright has the better line into turn 1, but if Faulkner holds that position, he will have the line into turn 2. So it comes down to who has the brakes, and there we go. Wright blinks first, and Faulkner goes through. And that's all she wrote, folks. Ben Faulkner now up into P5. All of 15, 16 minutes into this race. Next on the list, Jamie Nankervis. Got a little bit more space to work with here. And so the contact there for Mitch Curry, deemed a racing incident by the stewards, no action. Just unfortunate that he found himself in that sort of position. So let's just take a quick look back at Ryan Palmer's incident earlier. He's just lost it over that curve. Good decision there, backing it up to turn around rather than trying to flip it around on the track. Good to see. So here we go. Nankervis, despite that gap that he had, Faulkner's immediately rounding him up, and he'll be looking to make the pass into turn 1 here. As we take a look just a little further down the pack for a moment, Alex Court. There we go. So he started right alongside Faulkner. Hasn't had the same run of luck, unfortunately. So we see Nankervis going very wide. Faulkner up on 2 wheels over that curve again. And rolls on through. So here's Josh Harris. I swear he puts those labels over the car just so he knows which side is which. The amount of speed that Faulkner is able to pull out of these cars is just intense. Currently Faulkner's best lap, a 120.785. Nobody else in this field in the 120s. The closest to him, a 121 flat from our current leader, Dylan DeBono. So really there's no contest. It's just a matter of when Ben Faulkner is going to round you up, it seems. And unfortunately, the longer the race, the more opportunity he has to do exactly that. As we see Sam Katakazinas off into the wall again. Not what he would have wanted to have happen there. Let's just check. Has he done it again? Up on the two wheels. And again, that curb's caught him out. I don't know if he's doing this intentionally, but he's basically matched that big Dane car. So through he goes, and Josh Harris now trying desperately to hang on to the back of Ben Faulkner and maintain P3. Dylan DeBono, meanwhile, there's Ben Faulkner. A lot of distance there for Dylan DeBono. But we'll keep an eye on Ben Faulkner making progress, and as they get closer, we'll come back to that as we watch Shannon Wright and Nathan Bowman. Bowman looking to make the pass here as we get to the end of the straight. Takes a look up the inside, trying to hold that side draft. Doesn't want to push right sideways either though, so tucks back in. Who's got the better drive? It looks like Wright. He's set himself up well. Oh, that's Alex Cord around in the background as well. Go back and have a look at what's happened here. I think he's just overcooked it. As we see him coming down, just getting a bit loose there. And the curbs have done it again. Up on two wheels, it's been enough to unsettle him. He's gone straight into the side of Terry Marwood and has ended up spun around. Not a lot he could do. So Nathan Bowman here has made the pass meanwhile on Shannon Wright, but Doug Gowan's coming along for the ride as well. So we've got a little battle pack going on here for P6. As further ahead, Jamie Nankervis is closing in on Josh Harris as well. Just behind Brian East has James Bunker and Ronald Long in behind him. So Ronald Long has found himself behind Brian East a couple of times. Here comes Bunker. Had the better run out of the turn onto the straight and sets himself up nicely alongside. So it's an interesting spot to try and make the pass here. There's not a lot of room. So East giving him plenty, which I'm sure James Bunker will appreciate very much indeed. 20 minutes to go. 19 even in this second race of the evening. So we're getting to about a third of the way through. Here's Doug Gowans. What's going on here? Nathan Bowman has just lost it. So Doug Gowans has made the pass. He's got Shane Ratcliffe hugging his bumper to try and make it through. Shannon Wright, meanwhile, after that excursion into the grass, has managed to recover. And Bowman's going to have to give up some spots as a result. And can he maintain into this corner? Just a little momentum to try and get it back again. Looks like Ratcliffe's just too quick there, and Doug Gowans continues to pull away out in front. This battle for P6 takes a bit of a shuffle, but the drivers stay together. Lam Newen in the background making his way around, and that's Terry Marwood just getting a little loose over the curbs again. They're vicious here at Sandown International Raceway. The curbs, that is, not the drivers. The drivers are all friendly. Here we go. Ronald Long looking to make the pass on Brian East. Bit of a wiggle there as he hits a few of the bumps on the track, but it's not going to unsettle him too much. Brian East managing to hold on to his position. As we take a look a little further up, Josh Harris just barely hanging on to P3. With Jamie Nankervis and Sam Chapman just stalking him down the main straight. Dylan DeBono, meanwhile, just as an update out in front, still holding 6 seconds over Ben Faulkner, so doing well to just hang on to that position. And they're not too far up the road from this battle here for P3. Harris, Nankervis and Chapman just duking it out. Harris managing to run some pretty consistent laps. Nankervis perhaps a little distracted by Sam Chapman, who's got the run here. Can he maintain it up the straight, or is he going to tuck back in again? Be looking for just a bit of that side draft to give him just a couple extra K an hour that he's after. And in the end, makes it look easy. He's right behind Doug Gowan, starting to extend over Shane Ratcliffe. With Bowman and Wright still in hot pursuit. Bowman getting a little bit loose there. His tyres starting to feel the effort that he's put in to maintain his position so far. Gowan's meanwhile just looking a little bit more planted. Got to watch those curbs again, up and over. Makes me nervous every time these guys hit that inside one, because we've already seen 4 incidents now this evening. Wright loses a lot of pace and drops off the back, so that'll be him out of this for a little while. We're looking to try and get what little draft there is from that far back, but it won't be enough to help him. Take a look a bit further back, and here's James Bunker, who's been reeling in Lam Nguyen for a little while. Nguyen, a big fan of the racing green type liveries. Does run a Jaguar livery in our Super Formula Lights Championship on Monday nights. Probably wouldn't be the right car to run one of those on here, but I do appreciate the homage to the British racing green. There's James Bunker. Just tacks onto the back. He's going to take full advantage. Flashing the lights, just let Lam Nguyen know that he's there and put a bit of pressure on. And he makes his move up the inside, so he's caught enough pace in the draft there, and that'll be enough to take him past. And through he goes. Just behind, meanwhile, Brian East with Terry Marwood, and Alex Cord has made his way all the way up to P14, so not the same sort of progress that he would have liked, I'm sure. But slowly and surely, he is making his way from the back of the pack towards the top again. He's going to have to get a move on, though. We're just over halfway through this second race. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. It is still looking tidy. We've managed so far, touch wood, to avoid a safety car. And here we go, Josh Harris up a little further. This is the battle for P3. Sam Chapman looking to make a move now. It's all about the drive out of this corner onto the main straight. Josh Harris has been very consistent, but Sam Chapman gets a fantastic line there. Holds a lot of pace, and now is able to just sit on the back. So let's go on board with Jamie Nankervis. This is the view forward. Josh Harris not putting up any sort of defensive effort there, which is a little surprising, honestly. But he does want the better line through this series of S's. Big bounce there, throwing them both off the pace a bit. Allows Nankervis to catch up a little and just tack back on. So he may have a crack at this down the straight as well. Josh Harris at risk of losing not just P3 but P4 if he doesn't tidy it up a little from here. So down the main straight we go. Nankervis not close enough this time around, and in fact looks to just be significantly down on pace from the two ahead. And just behind them, Doug Gowans cannot shake Ratcliffe or Bowman either. Ryan East is about to have a move put on him. Terry Marwood looking to go up the inside. East gives him plenty of room, goes very wide to allow it, but maintains his inside position, and that's enough to, again, just continue to hold P13 there. Slightly slow racing is not, again, living up to his name. Brian East doing a pretty decent job in his pink and white Toyota 86 to hold off a number of attackers this evening. As I throw things around on my desk here. Getting a little excited, ladies and gents. Do love some good close racing. Gap out in front, of course, the update, Ben Faulkner still 5.5 seconds behind, so he is closing on De Bono, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. De Bono, meanwhile, putting in some solid laps. Ben Faulkner's fastest now, 120.62, but Dylan De Bono, a 120.69, is not that much off the pace. The last lap from De Bono at 20.762 to Ben Faulkner's 20.716, so they are lapping pretty consistently at around the same sort of pace. The rest of the field, though, still in the 21, so these guys looking to put a huge distance on the rest of the field. As we take a look, Ronald Long alongside Terry Marwood. They're swapping positions down the main straight. Marwood will have the inside run. Cam, look, realistically, I would expect these cars should be able to make the full distance without a pit stop. There is no compulsory pit stop in this series, this particular season. So there's only really a need for it if they've copped some damage or something like that. So no, I wouldn't be expecting one. The 86s, of course, fairly miserly on the fuel. Don't use a lot. They're not pushing a huge amount of power. You see Ronald Long and Scott Lefebvre both looking to Terry Marwood for a wave through. Marwood's gone very defensive there. And unfortunately, Ronald Long's left himself open to Lefebvre coming through and picking up a spot there. So Long back into 16th with Lefebvre and Marwood. Oh, there goes Lefebvre. He's spun. He just couldn't hold it through that corner. So despite the good move off the back straight, now finds himself back down again. Yeah, spot on, Cam. It is going to be very close. Faulkner seems to be picking off, look, just a couple of tenths per lap. We're down to 10 minutes to go, so we're 2/3 of the way there. He's going to have to really lift his game, or he's going to have to hope that De Bono starts to fall away. The last lap from De Bono at 21 flat to Faulkner's 20.7. So there's a closing of that gap. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Faulkner very fast, but there's only so fast he can push an 86 here. My fingers are crossed though. And we shall see in just 10 minutes time who comes out on top. As Josh Harris and Nankervis continue to battle it out for P4, Sam Chapman pulling away from both of them, looking to secure his spot on the podium this evening. Meanwhile, Alex Court, we checked on him just a moment ago, was up into P14. Now finds himself in P11, just outside the top 10. A big moment there for Nathan Bowman in the background. Going a little far back for that one. But he's managed to hold his P7, just lost a bit of time there to Shannon Wright. As Lam Newen and Alex Court continue to make their way through. Court now up into 10th on his way past Newen. Brian East, Shane Ratcliffe. Shane Ratcliffe has dropped all the way back. What's happened there? He's pitted. That looks like it's been a drive-through. Now, we haven't heard anything from race control that suggests that would have been a drive-through. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Ratcliffe, unfortunately, finds himself down in P17 as a result. Brian East says, thank you very much, I'll move on up, as does Ronald Long. Of course, Ronald Long dealing with Terry Marwood and Jared Williams now, looking to close him down. Marwood making the move past. Williams looking to follow. He tacks onto the back, has lots of pace out of that last corner. So Ronald Long is going to lose a couple more positions here, unfortunately for him. But good news for Terry Marwood, keeps making his way back up the field into P13, and Williams going with him into 14. Now James Bunker has Alex Court breathing down his neck. Court looking to improve his position. He's done well. He's up into P10 from second last on the grid. Big touch there. Just a bit of rubbing though. Court looking to make the run up to the inside. He's got the better line here. Bunker unable to go defensive now that Court's settled in, so he'll have to hope for a better line through this turn 1 into turn 2 transition. Court heavy on the brakes. But consolidates that position nicely and finds himself up into P9. Ronald Long having a go back at Terry Marwood, makes a way past. Marwood, a big moment there. Had the inside line, but up on two wheels, loses any hope of hanging on to it. Can Long close it back down? Is Marwood going to shut him out? He does. So Long not able to capitalise on that mistake from Marwood, but he's managed to hold on to the back of him, so he just might have the opportunity down the back straight here to make another pass. Ben Faulkner now down to 4 seconds out from De Bono. We're at 7 minutes to go. He's closing it down faster and faster, but I don't know if he's going to get there. As Ronald Long makes the move past Marwood again. plenty of pace. I'm wondering if Marwood's maybe carrying just a little bit of aero damage because he is well off the top speeds through that back straight. We see further back through the field, Mitch Curry having a shocker of an evening, as is Ryan Palmer. Curry off. This is my fault. I shouldn't have looked at him. Curry's off into the dirt. And back into P20, Ryan Palmer casually cruising away. As the field starts to really spread out now. Take a look. This is Sam Chapman. And let's see if we can get a bit of a view of just how spread out they are here. So Sam Chapman in third. That's Harris behind him with Nankervis looking to make a move. Doug Gowans in P6, just another second further back. And then finally you see Bowman, Wright, Court, Bunker making their way around that corner. So they are a long way back. I think at this point what we might do, folks, here comes Ben Faulkner. So let's go on board and just watch him at work. There is Dylan DeBono, 3.7 seconds now. So he's in range. Faulkner can see him. Let's watch what it takes here to really master a Toyota 86. Rides every single curb, getting the very best he can out of the track limits. The gap now 3.5. 5 minutes to go. This is going to be a very close one, ladies and gents. Have a look at the pace that he carries through that series of corners. Wringing the neck of this Toyota 86. Takes another few tenths off, down to 3.4. But DeBono gets a better run there, extends it just back out to shy of 3.5 seconds. He'll be watching the mirrors though. Here comes Ben Faulkner. Just over 4 minutes. I reckon we've probably got another 2-3 laps in this, probably 3 laps in this at this point. So he's going to need to close a second a lap here to make it. We'll take a look a little further back because we've got Josh Harris, Doug Gowans and Nankervis all perched together for P4 now. As Gowans looks to the inside, I'm really surprised to see Harris not really playing a defensive line here tonight. He's let a lot of people take that inside line through corners tonight, and it's cost him. Alex Court, meanwhile, just made the move past Shannon Wright, and he's up into P8. So not quite as impressive as Faulkner's run, but he's looking to earn some more points. Big bounce over the curbs. He'll be looking to Bowman ahead to try and just pull back another couple of spots before the end of this race. But here we go, Doug Gowans leading out Harrison Nankervis as we come down the back again. Sandown's back straight just seems to stretch on forever, especially in a Toyota 86. These three have had a really good battle going on for the most part of this half hour, it feels like. We're now into the last few minutes. Look, I think the podium pretty well, barring any issues or incidents, the podium pretty well sorted as to who's going to be standing on it. The only question left is who's standing where. And Sam Chapman must be feeling pretty comfortable with a P3. But Ben Faulkner has got some traffic to make his way through. But now down to 2.6. So there's DeBono at the front of screen. There's Faulkner at the back. Mitch Curry in between them. So that's just another little obstacle for Faulkner to navigate. But of course he could take advantage of that and use the slipstream to just boost a little further towards Dylan DeBono. He's going to need everything he can get here. composed as anything. Mitch Curry just bouncing across those curbs. Ben Faulkner, though, holding it together and making it look very, very easy. And long onto the back straight, losing another position, unfortunately, there to Lefebvre, and Ratcliffe's looking to make the move as well. And then if we take a look a little further up the field, you've got Wright and Bunker still going at it. Just ahead of them, Bowman and Court. Court desperately wanting to make his way into P7. And he just might do it. He's had a great run out of the chicanes there. Bowman going a little defensive, but it's not going to be enough. Court hugs his bumper and makes the way past. Sets up beautifully. Ben Faulkner down to 2.3 seconds. He's got about a lap and a half to do this. So let's keep our eyes on this one here. He's made his way past Curry already. Can he do it? 2.5 seconds in a lap. It's a long, long way to try and make up, and not a lot of time to do it. Big slide, Mitch Curry off into the dirt there again. His tyres have given up. They're ready to go home about 10 minutes ago, I reckon. So here we go, De Bono. He'll see the white flag. There it is. One more lap for De Bono, and he could wrap this one up. But Faulkner now in shot as we make our way down the front screen. Front screen? Front straight. My goodness. It's been a long one tonight, ladies and gents. So let's watch this closely, because De Bono needs a very clean lap. Oh, a little bit bouncy there. Is that going to cost him? Faulkner down to 2.1. But the advantage here, De Bono just might be able to tack on to the back and get a little bit of an assist here. We're not quite close enough to be making too much difference on a Toyota 86, but anything will help at this stage. And it looks all but certain. I don't want to say it. He's still got a couple corners to go here. But here we go. De Bono makes his way around the final turn. There's Ben Faulkner. And away they go. Dylan De Bono takes the checkered flag. Ben Faulkner, an almighty effort to get within 2 seconds from a start in P22. But just not enough. Just not enough. He can't be upset with that finish, though, because that was a huge drive. Meanwhile, Sam Chapman only just crossing the line now in P3, and he's super excited by that. Just behind Doug Gowans, Josh Harris takes a P5. He won't be too unhappy with that either. Nankervis only just behind him at the line. And Alex Court finds himself in P7, so making his way past Bowman there. But Dylan De Bono, got to be happy with that. A wonderful result for him. Started up front after a less than ideal first race, but he's managed to hold off the incredibly fast finishing Ben Faulkner, who is just giving it everything down the back straight. Nothing wrong with a little bit of drifting to finish your night. As we look to the results for round 2, Cam, we will absolutely be trying to get an interview. We're just waiting on Dylan to jump on in. So we look at the results here. Dylan De Bono taking the win over Ben Faulkner, Sam Chapman, Doug Gowans, then Harris, Nankervis, Court, Bowman, Bunker and Wright, rounding out the top 10. So everyone begins to make their way into the pits. Lam Newen just outside the top 10 finish this evening. Brian East, Ratcliffe, Lefebvre and Long. Not the best nights, but they're still finishing in some decent points there. Katakazinas making his way up to P16. Managed to recover all right from a few earlier incidents. Then Ryan Palmer, Jared Williams, Terry Marwood, not where he would have expected to finish. He was going well, but just couldn't hang it together. Mitch Curry, a shocker tonight for him, unfortunately. Luke Speck and then Luke Newing, not really even starting this evening, putting himself out 18 laps ago. so not what he would have hoped for, I am sure. Just waiting now to see if we do get an opportunity to speak to Dylan De Bono. I haven't seen him around this evening, so we're just having a look to see if we can track him down. But while we wait for that, ladies and gents, that's 4 rounds down, as we do, in fact, have an opportunity here. Dylan De Bono, welcome to the broadcast, mate. A fantastic second race for you.
It was a lot better one than the first one, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, a bit of a rough one in the first one. We saw a couple of incidents actually as we were watching it all unfold in front of us, and it did mean that you started up front, which is never a good sign in a reverse grid. But you made the most of it, and I managed to hold off Ben Faulkner. We've been watching him for the last few laps. How focused were you on the mirrors as opposed to the road ahead, mate?
Yeah, like I we were lapping pretty similar times in those mid to high 20s, and it was just the laps I made the mistakes was what killed me and brought the gap down so much. But me and Ben have raced each other for a while now, and it's always a good fun.
Yeah, look, I'll give you a bit of feedback just in case you didn't get it from the spotter. Your best lap tonight, not far off Ben Faulkner's, a 120.697 to his 120.56. So certainly lapping up there with him, and did the job tonight, mate. Just a quick little shout out to you from Cam Hardwick, who was tuned in and cheering you on the whole way as well.
Yeah, Cam's a big part of Velocity Sim Lab. Unfortunately, he didn't make tonight's race. He would love to be here, but yeah, it's a big part of Velocity.
Well, he's enjoyed the broadcast, I hope, and I'm sure he's more than excited to see you take the win there, mate. So a bit of a rough one first up, but you've made up for it, and well done. Go and enjoy the spoils from race 2 at least, and put race 1 out of the mind, hey?
Yeah, same thing happened last. I think it might have been the Super Formulas. I got taken out the first lap, and ruined my race there. But luckily, I got back out in this 86 race, and yeah, got the job done.
Well done, mate. I'll let you go and enjoy that, and we will hopefully see you in here again in the next couple of races. Maybe even a race 1 win up the sleeve in the next couple of events, eh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Right,
thanks, mate.
Thanks for dropping in. Dylan De Bono there, our winner for race number 2. Not his happiest moment, obviously. Race 1 was a bit of a rough one, but definitely took advantage and led it from start to finish in race 2 there this evening. Finishes out round 4 here at Sandown. Only 2 rounds left in the Toyota 86 Cup, so we only have a couple of weeks left here before we will be crowning our first champion. And really, at this point, it's anyone's. The points were very, very tight before we came into this evening. There'll obviously be a few points penalties to sort out from incidents this evening, as there always are, but we will keep an eye on the results and bring them to you same time next week as we head into round 5 of the Toyota 86 Cup. Dylan forgot to thank the sponsors. Cam, look, chuck them in the chat and I'll do what I can before I sign it off for you. How about that? So yeah, look, another couple of rounds to go here. We've also got 2 rounds left of our Super Formula Lights series. So Monday nights from around the same sort of time, 7:45. We tend to kick off there, and only a couple of rounds left to go there. And then, not far off, is our next GT3 season. So that one coming up very, very quickly. If it's something you're interested in getting in amongst and being a part of, then absolutely head to Facebook and search for MC Motorsport, or get in touch and head to the Discord, and we will see you out on track as and when that happens. So a fantastic night of racing again here tonight. Sandown bringing the thrills and spills as always. Some of them look, a little less tidy than some would have perhaps hoped for, but all in all, some really good close racing again in the 86s, and everyone doing their best to make the most of this technical and surprisingly tricky track here at Sandown. Until next week, though, ladies and gents, it's been an absolute pleasure to bring this to you. The MC Motorsport Toyota 86 Cup, proudly presented tonight by Simple Racing Broadcasts. Once again, I'm your host, Jared Cole. It's been a lovely evening spent with you, as always, and we will be back next week to bring you more racing action. Until then, drive safe, look after yourselves. Goodbye for now.